Welcome to the Our Team Podcast, powered by eXp Realty. Are you an agent looking to level up? Are you someone looking to buy or sell real estate? Fantastic. This is the show for you. Well, it's nice to have you back in the office with us, Blake, and it's great to have you around, and such a positive. I know that tracking you down has been a little bit hard, but we've been talking about new agent series, and with the idea on that in the spectrum, where do we go next? And we had started to talk about farming and how to create a farm outside of your farm. You know, Brian and I talked about door knocking and how the Ring doorbell is is a friend, and I know that we can expand on that in a different way.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's many different ways to have a farm, and when we talk with our newer agents and even, seasoned agents, we talk a lot about having a farm or being outside your farm as well. And what I mean by that, and, kind of an example is, for in our area, if Canyon Lake is your farm and I was farming that area, I'm going to be eating at all the restaurants right there in Canyon Lake. I'm going to be shopping at that grocery store. The reason being is, you can door knock. A lot of people don't like door knocking, but they're going to send something in the mail. There's a little picture on there of who you are, but you want people to see you in everyday situations. If you have a community pool, don't be too above going to the community pool, saying hi to everybody. You want to become the absolute expert and the first person that everyone thinks about calling when it comes to real estate in that farm. And, for me, before it was like, I can't let people look at me or see me in a certain way. I'm not dressed up. I'm not wearing a collared shirt. I don't look like a realtor today. Not that I ever really look like a quote-unquote realtor. But when you see somebody, and I'm at the grocery store, late at night getting milk or something we need, and I'm in slippers, sweats, and, a T-shirt, and someone recognizes you, you shouldn't be embarrassed. You need to embrace it, because that goes back to authentication. People want to see how authentic you are. And if you're the same person all the time, then you are who you are, and there's no fakeness about it, people gravitate to that. So the importance of being outside of your farm but in that local area is going to be huge, because if you decide down the road you're going to have events because you want to get into, be more involved in your community. Well, if people already know who you are because you're door knocking, sending them mailers, they see you eating at restaurants, they see you with your family. When you say, hey, we're doing a food drive, you'll be amazed on how many people participate when you are doing something for a good cause. But yeah, one of the things that when I first got into real estate and I was picking a farm, I never picked a farm that I lived in, because I didn't want to be the guy that asks my neighbors for business. I just wanted them to assume they knew that I sold real estate, and if they were going to sell or buy, they would contact me. Well, after I saw signs going up on my street, I realized, well, shit, I'm not doing a good job. And especially when you live in a community, we have so many master planned communities around here that it's kind of really easy to just name one as your farm and to start working it. But they want to see you engaged. They don't want to hire a robot. They want real people. They want to see you, stopping at the store and your kids are getting out because they just got done with soccer and you're picking up snacks or doing whatever. Those are real life experiences that they're going to say, you know what, I can connect with that person. And that's what it really comes down to, is building relationships that go beyond the transaction.
Is it worth doing like the magnetic on your car, at least when you're inside of the farm that you're talking about? Yeah. So when you're at the grocery store or the local grocery store, or you're at the local restaurant, you've got the magnet on your car just to re-energize, a postcard to a face to a car.
100%. There's a saying, always be prospecting. Well, the same thing is always be marketing. So, if you're going to that taco shop in that farm, maybe put your business card there. But I think a magnet is a great way. People go crazy and wrap their car entirely. That's awesome. That's their choice. I'm not going to do that, because if I accidentally run a red light, I don't want someone calling me. But, that's just me. But yes, you have to go and kind of think outside the box, but not have to reinvent the wheel. If you're a good, genuine person, you're going to be a good, genuine person in real estate as you are outside. And if you're authentic and you love where you live and you love your farm and your community, you're going to be involved anyway. So it's nothing really that you're doing differently. But if you're kind of in between, hey, where should we get dinner? Well, if you're eating in your farm, that there's a potential that that's going to help you generate business down the road. Nobody wants to see some guy sitting there, marketing, but they never see that person around. All it is social proof. Hey, this person is in the area. They could be the expert because they are here, right? I get sales calls all the time, my parents' rental houses. And I laugh because those agents have no idea. Because one, it's not even an agent calling you. Two, the person that's on the phone reading a script has no idea not only about that house, but even the community. Like I wouldn't just, I don't know. That's different. That's another day. But the whole farming, and being involved in your community outside your farm, like kind of going off of that, is, when Brian did the podcast, we talked about our food drive and how successful it was. A lot of that comes back for all the groundwork that is laid. And no, it's not just door knocking. That is a big portion of it. On the Ring doorbell, huge piece. That is like, total 2023 stuff, just saying hi on the Ring doorbell. So you're putting face to a name, and then they're getting things in the mail. But then when they see you engaging, in that area, now they're more likely to help you out.
Well, I think the food drive is an excellent way to really solidify yourself within a farm. It's the giving back aspect.
Yeah, and and it doesn't have to be a food drive. There's so many different events. There's agents that do community garage sales. There's agents that do taco truck night. There's whatever it may be. There's always something good in those events, but to have a better turnout, those people are going to be able to recognize and say yes a lot more freely if they see you out there. And it's not just knocking on their door, because typically, honestly, when people are door knocking, most people aren't home. Most people aren't door knocking at 6 o'clock at night. Most people door knock at 10 o'clock in the morning. No one's home. People work.
That's very true. What is your opinion on going to farmers markets or the local mall or something similar?
Oh, I think those are amazing. So as a new agent, one of the things that I used to do all the time was go to the farmers market. So where we're located, we have one farmers market on Wednesday. That was at the mall. There's one Saturday, a couple on Saturday actually, and then a couple on Sunday. And I used to go every Wednesday to the one at the mall. And everyone used to say, why are you going there? One, I would, wear a shirt that said, real estate and wear my name tag. I was all excited. But it was a way for me to talk to people. Yeah, you can look at a script, you can read and think you know what to say. But the biggest thing of everything is objection handling. And my whole thought was I would rather practice on real people that may not be ready today than my phone rings from someone calling from Zillow or Redfin or Realtor.com or the Facebook lead for that matter and not know what to say. So I used to go to farmers markets all the time. And the thing about it that really worked out is people started recognizing who I was. Every week, the tamale guy would say, "You're back." Yeah, of course. And you start building relationships. Real estate is a marathon kind of game. What we're doing today is for a paycheck in 90 days. But real estate, you've got to be throwing out new seeds all the time. You got to till that soil. You got to throw the seeds out. You got to water the hell out of it before you even see anything. There are transactions, and there's people you're going to meet that you meet them, and they're ready to go right now. Other people, they may be a bamboo shoot that you plant the seed, and it takes 7 years before it even sprouts, and they're ready to rock and roll. I have had clients that it's taken over 5 years before they decide on which house to buy, which is crazy. But a lot of that goes back to that building of relationships, and I attribute that to going to farmers markets, going to the malls, because there's so many people. People are going to ask you, how's the market? What's going on? What do you think is going to happen? And being able to communicate to anybody on the spot is really good practice. And it's a good way to develop your unique selling proposition and an elevator speech, because that's what's going to happen. You have maybe 2 minutes when you're standing in line at the grocery store. And they say, "Hey, aren't you that guy that sent me that mailer the other day on, what's changing in the market and interest rates?" "Yeah, that was me." "Well, what do you think is going to happen?" Well, if you haven't practiced it and you're not there, you're never going to have that conversation. And I used to use farmers markets a lot. Also, I'd go to new builds. And it wasn't so much going to the build to know what kind of finishes or options they have. Those are important items, but for me, it was building that relationship with a salesperson. That was one. Two, as I'd walk through the homes, I'm not going there trying to steal buyers or anything like that, but I'd be touring the properties and I would ask buyers, what do you like about this home? What do you not like about this home? Because I want to know what buyers are feeling, what they enjoy, what they're not enjoying. Because over time, you start developing patterns. And it was, in my opinion, when you start noticing patterns, then you can start predicting the next patterns. And that's when you start changing the game inside of the game. But I'd go to new builds, want to know about their HOA, want to know about taxes. So when you do have a client that says, hey, do you know of any other homes or this, that, and the other? And you remember there's a community that has RV parking and 3-car garages, and the taxes are, 1.7, and the houses they've been looking at, the taxes are 1.7, 2%. They might be better off in a new build. So it's getting out there, letting people know who you are, and being consistent. Everything comes down to consistency. I don't care what it is. From a macro to a micro level, everything is based on discipline and consistency. If you're consistently showing up and trusting in the process and doing the thing, the results are going to take care of themselves. It's the inconsistency and the thoughts. And when you're inconsistent, that's when you get the peaks and valleys. So as a newer agent, part of our new agent series, everyone wants to have that, smooth sailing stability. And the best way to do that is consistency.
And if you had to wrap this up with a final piece, other than consistency, which is awesome, what would that be?
Just get out there. You want people to know who you are, you got to be present. You have to show up. Yes, we do live in the age of technology and everything's online. People can buy a house without even seeing it. You're buying a car that's getting delivered at your front door. We are in the most fast-paced, rapid time living in California, which is one of the fastest-paced areas. But do not take for granted face-to-face interactions and building relationships based on, being in person. Right now, you go anywhere, you go shopping, you go to restaurants, everyone's complaining how bad service is. So you know what people are thriving and really, really want right now more than anything is the greatest customer service they've ever had. Because everywhere else, it's shit. So if you can go above and beyond and give your clients top-notch service, bend over backwards, be Gumby, be inside out, and do things that no one else is going to do, you have a client for life. And at the end of the day, that's the whole game.
That is the whole game. I thank you, Blake, so much for your time, and we will do this again.
Sounds good.
Catch you on the next one. See you later, guys.
Hey, wait, before you go, would you do us a favor? If you found any value in this content, would you please like and subscribe to it? Maybe even leave a comment? It really helps us out.